What about those tags? Why are maybe tags, underwear, socks, shoes, pants so stressful, right? Well, before we even get into that, what do we know about the brain? Okay. What we know is that brain needs to develop from a bottom up, back to front, right to left. The brain needs to open up like a flower. And in order for it to do that, it needs to be fed appropriate, healthy information, uninterfered with. We also don't want a lot of inflammation affecting the way that the brain is receiving information either. So we want that information to be sent into the brain appropriately. But as we move through development, we move through these skills that we have or these tools that we have, and we become more efficient in the tools that we use as our brain becomes more developed, as we become more developed. So as we move through that development, we gain different and more efficient tools. We start with primitive reflexes. I've gone over this before, so you can watch other videos on it, but I'll touch up a little bit. But we start with primitive reflexes in our primary way of processing our world. And then we move to movement touch, and then auditory verbal, and then visual cognition, that whole brain processing. Okay. So now let's get into a situation where, maybe that we're seeing, other things going on. So that's with the tags. So now let's say we're still stuck in movement touch being our primary way of processing our world. So one of my sharper tools in that way is of integrating and processing my surroundings is tactile sensation and moving my body. Now I'm going to be more heightened in those areas and more sensitive. And I'm going to put more eggs in my basket. Okay. I'm going to have this collapsed attentiveness to movement touch. Therefore, when you increase that tactile sensation being fed to the brain, or you change the tactile environment so that you give me something different that stimulates me in a way that could cause a stress response, because now all of a sudden I have to process more in that tactile realm than I already am. And it is not the most efficient way of processing, so it kind of shuts me down. Okay, and I have to pay more attention to that. Therefore, I want to avoid it. I don't want to wear the underwear that just seems too tight, or I don't like the tags because it increases my tactile, or the underwear feels funny, the jeans feel funny, or I don't want to wear socks, or I only want to wear one pair of socks, or even shoes. There's only one pair of shoes that I want, or shoes I don't like at all. This is a huge window into a potentially underdeveloped brain, or a brain that has gaps in development. And this is something that we need to then understand, and then look from a whole brain development perspective into what we need to do. So I hope that was helpful for you parents, into better understanding why your kid it drives them crazy to have these tags, or wear jeans, or wear underwear, or wear socks, or shoes, or anything that is increasing that tactile sensation to their brain.